Hey there, it's Liz Berg for Smarts and Entertainment, and today I am talking about the Depeche Mode Memento Mori Tour 2023. I caught the show on November 13th in Chicago. It was the second time that they've been here supporting this album. Let's get into it. I just can't get enough. 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 If you do not want to hear spoilers about the songs that they are playing on this leg of the tour, please do not watch or tune in later after you've seen your show. So, how does one talk about Depeche Mode live? Oh my gosh. Mind blown. I just cannot believe what I'm seeing out of this band so deep into their career. When you've been following a band and seeing them live for decades, at some point you expect a drop off. Really not in this case with Depeche. My opinion and what I've been seeing from fans and their takeaways, they are loving the show just as much as some of the past ones. And what's so great about this also is Andrew is not there, and us fans didn't know what to expect with him being gone. Everybody says goodbye. So let's talk about Dave Gahan. That man storms the stage and commands the stage like he is in battle, and it is amazing. And he has never let up his energy. I happened to catch him doing a little bit of warming up before the show, like literally minutes, before they were going on. And guess what he was doing? Squats. So that shows you again how physical he is and how serious he takes his energy. I think he really feels like an athlete up there, and it shows. He has always been one of the best frontmen in music. Yeah, right. To be honest, especially now with Fletch gone, I'm kind of looking at Dave and Martin as the Mick Jagger and Keith Richards of synth pop. They are such a dynamic duo, and they are carrying the torch for this band going forward, and it's amazing. I did not go to the April show. I consciously chose to go to the November show, and the real main reason was I suspected that the second show would be better than the first, and I think by all accounts I was proven right, based on the songs that they played this time versus the songs they played last time. In April, they played Sister of Night, Speak to Me, Question of Lust, Soul with Me, and Wrong. In November, they changed those songs to Home, Dressed in Black, Policy of Truth, My Favorite Stranger, and Black Celebration. In my opinion, what I got on November was better, having Black Celebration and My Favorite Stranger in the lineup, as well as Policy of Truth. I did hear some people complain about Policy not being performed the first time they were in Chicago. So those are the notable changes to expect if you are seeing this tour. Now, I will say that Martin's songs in the middle of the show do change a little bit from night to night. And again, I think that's so awesome. The ability to change and to make adjustments makes it so much fun for the crowd to have that element of surprise. One of my favorite parts of the show was seeing Peter play live bass on two songs. He plays it on Pain That I'm Used To, and he also played it on My Favorite Stranger. Now, I think My Favorite Stranger is a really great addition to the show. The energy is fantastic, and not everyone knows that Richard Butler co-wrote that song. Richard Butler, the famous frontman from Psychedelic Furs, co-wrote several songs on this new album with Martin. My Favorite Stranger and Ghost Again are the two notable ones that they played in the show, and those songs I thought went over really, really well. really saw the fans totally engaged, totally loving it. Martin looked super happy at the show. Dave, by the end of the show, looked pretty tired, but he looked like he was having a lot of fun. He even mentioned that we were better than Ohio at some point during the show, that the Chicago crowd was getting into it a little bit more than the Cleveland show. So it was fun to see him kind of rib Ohio. But in my opinion, you cannot go wrong with the Depeche Mode show. They simply show up every time. I will also say, from a sonic perspective, the venue I saw them at, United Center, is notoriously known for having bad acoustics, for really having bad sound. And this was possibly the best sounding show I have ever heard at United Center. And I think a lot of it should be attributed to the songs and the soundscapes themselves, and Martin Gore and the electronics. Having such a wonderful balance of instrumentation in the mix. It doesn't get spoken enough about what a mastermind and how masterful Martin Gore is as a songwriter and a musician. And, you know, the sonics were fantastic at the show. There was just such a great vibe and energy. Energy is the word. When you go to a Depeche Mode show, you're gonna be given a treat. You are gonna be rocked, you're gonna be shaken. Dave is gonna do his thing. If I was to give a letter grade ranking about the show, my initial thought was A+. I mean, this show checks all the boxes. Great songs. They do some older songs, they do some newer songs, they do songs from the middle of their career. They seem equally invested, you know, from the early songs to the newer songs. Everything counts in the heart you found. But if I was to be ultra critical, I understand why they opened the show with My Cosmos Is Mine. It kicks off their album. It directly relates to a lot of the craziness we're seeing in the world at large right now. And thematically, it just carries the show forth, and I get that. But to me, my favorite Depeche opening track in concert of all time is Question of Time. When they did that on the singles tour, it was just, you cannot beat that. You know, the energy of that song. I like a little bit more energy at the beginning of my show. So that is my only nitpick criticism. Now, I would suspect the other main criticism from fans was they didn't play my favorite song. And I get that. There's, you know, probably several songs that I would have loved to have heard. But honestly, you know, at the end of that show, 23 songs, and they do their two biggest hits, Enjoy the Silence and Personal Jesus at the closing, you know, and Never Let Me Down, sandwiched in between them. At that end of that show, you do not want that show to end. I mean, and that's how you want a show to be, where they have left off a few of your favorite songs because their catalog is that intensely, amazingly awesome. So yeah, I would see people maybe saying, cut out some of the slower songs if they had a criticism, but they already did that, you know. Kudos to Depeche. They did a phenomenal job. I would say keep going to see them if you can, because they are bringing it and they are giving it. So thank you to those four guys on that stage, because they did a phenomenal job, and I think they are representing Andrew as well as they can. They did not speak much. They did not talk much to the crowd, and I really do like that. I think it keeps the energy going. They mentioned Andrew by name.
Our friend in our band name is Mr. Andrew Fletcher.
Not much, and they had his, you know, photos on the screen for World in My Eyes, but man, just amazing, amazing.
Thank you, Marlon. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this type of musical content, please hit the subscribe button. feel free to send me a comment. I'd love to hear what songs you are looking forward to. What is your take on this tour? And what do you have to say? What do you want to say to these guys? Because I think that they are paying a little bit of attention to the message boards and what people are saying about this show. Thanks again.